Okay. So why do we use scale? And we can think about different opportunities where we're trying to take something that's really large, say the map of a country, or really small, like a cell under a microscope, and we want to represent it on one sheet of paper or in a different space. We can think about blueprints, the blueprints of the layout of a building and it all being on one page. And we can do that by using scale. So scale is a way to represent one size on the drawing that represents a different dimension in real life. Okay. So let's say, for example, I want to do a floor plan of my room, right? So I measure my room and my measurements are 510 centimeters by 314 centimeters. Okay. And I want to fit those dimensions onto this sheet of paper, okay? So I start with the one side. So here's my one length. And I want this to represent my 510 centimeters. So when I measure this line, I can see that this line is 23 centimeters long. So the scale right now is, for every 23 centimeters on my drawing, it represents 510 centimeters in real life, in the real space, okay? But this scale isn't going to work for the other dimensions, right? If I leave it like this, because I know that my other dimension has to represent 314. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this down to a unit rate. So I need to know not how much 23 centimeters represents, but how much 1 centimeter represents. So I do this by, I'm going to divide 23 by 3, which gets me 1, and then I divide 510 by 23, and that's going to get me 22.17. Okay? So my unit scale for this relationship is, for every 1 centimeter on my drawing, I'm going to have 22.1 centimeters in real life, okay? So I can do drawing, real life. So then for every 2 centimeters represents 44.34, and so on with my table, okay? So using this scale of 1 to 22.1 equals 22.17, I needed to figure out the length of this side of my room. So if I know that in the real world it represents 314 centimeters, how am I going to represent that using this scale? Right, I'm going to try and figure out how many 22.17 are in 314. So I'll do 314 divided by 22.17, which is going to get me 14.14 centimeters, okay? So using the scale of 1 centimeter equals 22.17 centimeters in real life, I'm going to add the other dimensions. So 14, my ruler is almost completely worn out, 14.4, all right. So now I have a scale drawing where the scale is 1 to 22.17. And I know this is 14.14 centimeters, and this is 23 centimeters. All right. But now I want to add some things to my room, okay? Because I'm doing a floor plan. So here's the outline of my room. And now I'm going to add some details. So let's look at the desk that I have. So my desk, when I measure it in real life, is 118 centimeters by 48 centimeters. Okay? Those are the dimensions in real life. So I'm going to continue to use this scale of 1 centimeter equals 22.17 centimeters. What are the dimensions of this desk going to be on my floor plan? Right. Again, I'm just going to see how many 22.17s fit into these two measurements, and then I'll have my dimensions. So I do 118 divided by 22.17, which equals 5.36. Right, so 5.36. And then 48 divided by 22.7 is going to be at the dimensions of 2.16. Okay, so using those dimensions, I can add my desk, 5.36, and 2.16. And now I have a desk that is to scale on my floor plan. Okay? That's a way of using scale to represent real life in a drawing.